Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the lust card or the strength card. This is passion. This is a zest for life. I think you're somebody who is fired up right now. I think that you're trying not to get overzealous. You're trying not to get too excited or too enthusiastic. You're trying to, okay, got to contain myself, you know. But I think something's happening in your life that is really getting you fired up and getting you, there's a robust vitality that's kind of radiating from your aura right now. Feels very zesty in your life. I think that you're somebody who is usually pretty reserved, professional and calm, and I try not to get carried away. I think you're kind of getting carried away. I think something is making you feel really alive. There is like a fire surging through you, an electricity. You know, it's like your fingertips feel like they're just lit up on fire, you know. And it may be an excitement. It may be we may even kind of call it like anxiousness, anxiety. It's like we've got not just butterflies in our tummy, we've got the pterodactyls in there, you know. Shout out to Tammy. This is a surge of, almost like a surge of adrenaline or a motivation. This is a feeling of courage. So I feel like we're in the middle of doing something that is kind of nerve-wracking, but it's exciting. Yeah. And I think we're really feeling good. It feels like something physically active, maybe, yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context, okay? Let's see what is going on here. We haven't started it yet. Well, this is something you definitely want to say yes to. And this is going to be good. Here we have, double Capricorn energy. The Knight of Pentacles and the Devil are both Capricorn energies. I would watch the Capricorn reading if I were you. There is the Libra energy, justice or adjustment. I feel like you've made the decision to do it. We're feeling the excitement, and we're right on the edge of the stage, and we're about to go do it. It's going to be a big win. The biggest win of your life. 6 of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. Nice, steady growth. You know? So this is something that you're going to be able to continue doing. Right here, this is, oh my gosh, this is nice. This is exciting. This is fun. This is challenging, but this is for all the marbles, right? This is really a huge win right here. This is saying it's a very sound decision. Like you're making a good choice to do it, and you're going to be able to continue doing it. It's going to lead to further growth and further expansion and further success. Oh, that's nice. You definitely want to say yes to this. Here we have the 9 of Pentacles. Very good. Going from an 8 to a 9. The 9 is us walking that path, experiencing the growth and the progress here. We have the Universe card. The sky's the limit. Yeah. We have a 5 of Wands here, which is kind of a warning. Let's not let our ego get too inflated here. Let's not get overwhelmed by the energy. Let's not get too competitive, but let's stay cautious and prudent. Let's take it kind of slow, but let's be very energetic. You know, we can be very powerful and very excited, but we can also do things smart. Yeah. Here we got the star. You're following your destiny. Wow. This might be the most perfect spread. There's not really a challenging card in the group. We got the Five of Wands, which is basically saying, like, we don't always have to show off our power, you know. Sometimes a little bit of that reserved Gemini energy that I was mentioning at the beginning, sometimes that's good, you know. We don't want to always make a display of our power and our abilities. Sometimes it's better to, you know, kind of let people assume that you're not a threat. You're not a force to be reckoned with, you know. We don't always have to show our strength by baring our teeth, you know. Sometimes the greatest show of strength is to be able to reserve that power. It's there when I need it, but I don't have to always be showing it off, right? I like that. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down below the video. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, major, 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 major. Wow, that's a lot, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies. We got fire. And what else? Earth. Fire and earth. The spiritual electrical circuit of creation. There you go, you got it. The art and science of manifestation. Spirit is showing you how to be a magician, how to manifest. Whatever this goal is, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you feel is fired up about, whatever you're making the decision to do, you've got all the right components. Okay? We don't have any cards of fear or apprehension. We don't have any swords cards. We don't have any water cards. Why is that? Well, the spiritual electrical circuit of creation, which we have here, fire and earth, fire and earth, fire and earth. Okay? You got a lot of earth cards, you got a lot of fire. Yeah. That is the spiritual electrical circuit of creation. That is impulse to behavior. That is intention to implementation, idea to action, will to, to action, above to below, heaven to earth. It is that instant creation. It's the act of creation, yeah. But it needs a conduit. It needs something to conduct that electricity from fire to earth. Well, that's the human heart and mind. Fire, water, air, earth. We don't have any water or air cards because your heart and mind are acting silently as the perfect conduit. The squeaky wheel would have to get the attention here, but you don't have any of your air or water energy kind of, making a noise. It's kind of like when your car is running perfectly, you don't hear it. The engine is just humming along. It's when things start clunking, or rattling or buzzing or beeping that you're like, uh-oh, something's wrong here, So you don't have the air and the water cards because your heart and your mind are in perfect harmony and they're functioning as they need to. Your thoughts, your feelings, everything is going straight ahead. They're conducting the electricity silently as they should. Okay, you're not having a lot of doubts pop up or a lot of fears. You don't have these kinds of, you don't have these worries. You don't have you have this deep sense of purpose. You know why you're doing it and you know how you're going to do it. The only thing left is to do it, fire to earth. Okay, that impulse to that behavior, it's going to go through the water and the air perfectly with no resistance. Okay? Nothing will impede that signal of fire to earth, fire to earth, fire to earth. A lot of earth, see, it's all over the place. These are the air cards, which we'll talk about. You have Libra, you have Aquarius. Leo, right? Fire. Capricorn, earth. Even the universe card, earth. All of these cards are fire and earth. Fire, 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 earth, 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 earth cards. We have a couple of air cards. Okay, we'll talk about those. But position 2 is the Knight of Pentacles. And this is the card that's kind of looking into the future and seeing the path, ace through 10, knowing kind of like how it's going to look, what is going to be the path, what it's going to look like, what are the challenges, what are the resources that I need, what can I maybe expect on the path, you know. This is a card of being prepared. This is the card of like having everything I need. You got your weapons, you got your tools, you got your horse, you got some dried fruit and nuts, you got your trail mix in here. You're ready to go. The only thing left is to say, giddy up. Okay. And so this is that excitement that we're right on the edge now of this wonderful change, this wonderful path, this wonderful performance. I don't know what it is you're doing, doesn't really matter. It's like we're feeling the excitement when you're just about to go on stage. Yeah, things are just about to get started here for you. And this is going to be a big challenge. This is going to require you to use your strength in the right way to get the big win. The big win means it's going to be a big struggle, right? An easy win, well, it's just an easy win. This is a really big win, and you're going to have to fight hard, and you're going to succeed. Okay. So if the Knight of Pentacles is an obstacle right now, that obstacle is just to not let your excitement get the best of you. You don't want to act too soon. You don't want to be early, but you also don't want to be so nervous that you're late. You want to act right on time. As soon as that curtain opens, right on cue, you enter the stage or the ring or the event, and you take care of business. We don't want to let our nerves, our excitement, this fiery energy in us, we don't want to jump the gun. We don't want to have a false start. We don't want to have a delay of game either, though, you see. And so that's where we are with these two, because this is like this fiery energy. It's like we just can't wait to go. Our engine is we're just keep revving the engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. We're ready to go. But we're waiting for the green light, and then we're gonna set out on this journey. Down beneath the surface, you have that engine. This is the engine of the car. This is the power that the car produces. You've got to know how to use that power, that's the regulation of the 5 of Wands here. Leo energy here. Capricorn energy here. Okay, we have the engine running. We're revving the engine and feeling the power. We haven't yet put the car into gear. And once we do, it's kind of like you're revving the engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And then when the light turns green, you don't just slam on the gas and peel the tires out and then, no. You just slowly start accelerating, and then pretty soon you're going, right? So it's kind of funny like that. We're not going to smoke the tires. Because guess what? You step on the gas too hard, you're going to spin the tires, you're not going to move. Everybody else is going to go ahead. You want to kind of gently come off the line with just the right amount of speed. You want to go as fast as you can, you want to accelerate as fast as you can, but that doesn't mean you're just mashing on the gas pedal. All you car enthusiasts out there will know what I mean. You mash on the gas pedal, you're going to spin the tires, you're going to be in last place. So it's not about how hard you can step on the pedal, but it's how quickly you can accelerate. And so it really is knowing it's a delicate thing. There's an art to it. There's a grace about it. Okay? And that's kind of what we're doing over here with this energy. The devil energy underneath the surface, well, that is your motivation. That's the engine of the car. It's your driving force. It is the creative drive. Okay? And so what I'm feeling here, especially with this is the creative source. Okay, that's spirit. This is your very own soul and spirit, your own star. This is you. Okay? And what the devil energy is, it's the 3 types of drives. Creative drive or generative drive, which is destiny. I want to create something. I have a soul mission and I want to build whatever it is I'm meant to build in this life. I'm motivated by that divine energy, right? I want to create something. I want to generate something. And of course, we have our aggressive drive and our pleasure drive. And we need all 3. Now, you've got the aggressive drive. That's what we need to regulate right now. We don't want to be overly competitive. We don't want to mash on the gas too hard to where we spin the tires and we don't actually end up moving forward off the line at all. I think your pleasure drive is well regulated. That's why we don't see any of the water energy, okay? No cups cards. But we're in service to that higher drive. We're here to do something meaningful. And this, of course, is the generation. What are you generating? This is the generative drive. This is what's being generated. So it's working. This is a big win. You have the drive, the motivation to create something, and this is the process of creation. Physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative. 333 gives us a 9. And this card shows that progress is going to be in every area of your life. Every dimension of your life is going to gain from this. This is the card of visible signs of progress. That whatever you're motivated to do, you're doing it. Okay? And it's working. And you'll be able to see physical, tangible, obvious results. You can see that your car is pulling ahead of all the other cars. You're creating or generating whatever it is that you're hoping to generate in your life. Love, success, connections, beauty, grace, financial wealth, longevity, legacy. Whatever it is you're hoping to create, whatever mark you're trying to leave, in the world, you're doing it. This is a blessing of a reading. It really is. But we have to say yes. We have to put the car in gear. At a particular point here, you're going to have to say yes, and that's when you put the car from park into drive and you go. Now back here, this is the adjustment card. Your history, the past energy, the recent past. I feel like you're kind of stuck between choices here. Yeah? Maybe this was us kind of like, I don't know, do I do it? Do I not do it? It's like we're waiting at the red light. It's just like, is this light ever going to turn green? Or should I go a different way? Could be that we felt like we were not so sure about what we wanted to do. We were stuck between choices. Yeah. And this is a card of karma. Maybe it's kind of like we were worried that we were going to repeat similar mistakes, that we were going to repeat something from the past, that we didn't want to kind of go down the same road again. Maybe there was a feeling like, I've been here before. And I don't think I made the right decision last time. What do I need to do this time? What's the right decision now? This is the card of higher wisdom and discernment. This is saying, like, I know what I value in life. Maybe this is a card that's saying my creative drive, aggressive drive, and pleasure drive weren't in the right kind of balance. And that balance doesn't mean that they're equal. The creative drive, aggressive drive, pleasure drive, they don't need to be equal, right? Because then they're all fighting. If they both have an equal voice, if they're both turned up to the same volume, it's going to be chaos. We're just going to be fighting amongst ourselves. So the creative drive has to be the loudest, and the pleasure drive and aggressive drive are the supports. Right? That fuel the creative drive. Okay? It's like your car has 3 engines. But this is that, maybe things were out of proportion. Maybe I was valuing other things more than other things. So we kind of got our priorities straight. And we've gained in wisdom and discernment, and I think that's why we're here where we are now, just about ready to let loose and do this thing, whatever it is. Make this change, make this progress, go on this path, this journey, this event, go out on stage or get on the racetrack or whatever we're doing now. Okay. And the thing about the Knight of Pentacles, too, is that the Knight understands karma as well. Because the Knight understands that what I'm looking at is the future. I'm looking at who I want to be, where I want to be, and what I want to be doing down the road. Looking kind of at a general idea of like my ideal destination. Who I am, where I am, what I'm doing down the road is all dependent on what I do right now. This is karma. The thoughts, words, and deeds of the present moment are creating our future selves. So the Knight of Pentacles realized that it's very important how I start this, how I come off the line, first impressions, maybe, right? Do I mash on the gas and spin the tires and show off my power? Do I go cautiously and prudently and I accelerate kind of gently, and then I'm out in front and I'm really winning this thing and I'm going for the gold, right? We understand that our future is contingent upon the thoughts, words, and deeds of the present moment. Always. Everything we do right now, here, today, every thought, word, and deed, is slowly creating my future life and my future self. That's heavy, right? But that also allows us to not worry about the future. Just worry about the present. If I do the right things in the present, future is going to take care of itself. There's no need to worry about it. Okay? So we're looking at the future in order to not worry about the future and to be able to bring ourselves back to that present moment and look at the task at hand. And when that light turns green, we're stepping out. We're getting off the line, or when the curtain goes up, we're stepping out on stage. You have a 6 of Wands up top. This is victory after struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the reward, right? Bigger the trial, the bigger the triumph. This is the fight. This is the win after the fight. And this is Jupiter in Leo, Saturn in Leo. So the Jupiter in Leo is kind of like you have to believe in yourself. You got to pump yourself up. Like you got to believe that you're the best. You got to believe that you can handle anything. Nobody is faster than you. Nobody is stronger than you, right? We got to believe that. We got to let our ego swell a little bit. Of course, then we have to be able to contract it again and kind of let it deflate a little bit, bring it back to a manageable size, right? Jupiter, expansion. Saturn, contraction. So when we're in this central pillar, we need all the power we can muster. We don't want to mash on the gas and spin the tires and show off. We don't want to be the showboat because we're not actually making any progress that way. Again, you're just spinning your tires. Your car isn't actually going anywhere. Everybody else is going to pass you up. But we do want to be competitive in the right kind of way. Okay? We're not going to play dirty. We're not going to put some grease on the ground in front of the other person's car so they spin out of control. No, it's not like a video game. We're trying to be part of a larger system in life. You know, we're trying to be competitive, yes, but in a healthy way, in a responsible way. And I think in a very interconnected way. You know, this card is really saying that the biggest win is when we all win. You know, it's not about really who can finish, faster than anybody else. I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. I don't need to compete with everybody else. In fact, if I can, I want to help everybody else too. Okay? We can all be in this together. This is the card of teamwork very often. And so this is kind of the reconciliation there between competition and ambition and the interconnectedness and the kind of ubiquitous team, that we're all a part of. I think if we keep that balance, this is a card of balance and harmony. This is the beauty of your will, your efforts, your true will. When you follow your true will, you will not be at odds with other people. Okay? There will be competition, sure, but there won't be necessarily the conflict. Okay? At least on your end. I think if everybody was doing their true will, there would be beauty and harmony. Okay? But this is that balance and this is that harmony of I'm gonna go as fast as I can, but I don't want to spin the tires and spin out of control. I don't want to fishtail it. I don't want, you know what I mean? The beauty and harmony of this is not just hardcore mash the gas pedal down. There's a grace, there's a beauty and harmony to it. There's an art, like I said, okay? And that leads to the type of growth that we want to see. That leads to not necessarily a slow start with this card. It's the appropriate start. This is not something that goes too fast. It's not something that goes too slow. Okay? This is the perfect amount of something. It's like you're trying to grow something. You're trying to make progress. This is the card that says, more is not always better. This is position 6 for you. This is the way forward. The way forward for you is not just give it as much gas as you can. Just step on the pedal and push it down into the floor. No, it's you got to give it the right amount. You're trying to grow this apple tree. You need the right sunlight, the right soil, the right water. Not too much. And so, sometimes we think, well, a little bit of water is good. If I flood the thing with water, that'll be better, right? No. I think you're realizing that you're a lot stronger than you gave yourself credit for. And so it's really difficult for us now to kind of like to learn how to use that. It's kind of like you just got into a brand new car and you didn't know how powerful this car was. And you just kind of tap the gas pedal and the car's like jerking, the tires are chirping and stuff. You got to kind of get used to it, And so I think this card is kind of about practice. It's about repetition. It's kind of like saying, I'm going to continue to grow and continue to practice and study and train, and I'm going to get better and better and better. Okay? 2 people can be in the same car, or the same type of car, but each in their own car. And, they can have very different experiences about how that car works and how they can handle that. One person can complete the track in like 2 minutes, right? The other person, maybe it takes them like 5 minutes to get around the track. Okay? We're not competing against anybody else necessarily, but saying, okay, I did it in 5 minutes. Now I want to try to do it in 4 minutes. I want to try to get better. And so what I have to do is do my very best. I have to push myself to the edge of the limit and maybe even know where that line is. I got to go beyond my limit a little bit. I have to step on the gas enough to start to get kind of squirrely with the car so I know where that limit is. Don't do this on a public streets or whatever. This is just an analogy, obviously. But we want to push ourselves so that we know where the sweet spot is in whatever you're doing in life right now. Whether this is at work, at home, at school, whether this is in relationships or in some kind of a sport or a skill or martial arts, I don't know. Maybe this is in some kind of art or some kind of content creation. This could be all sorts of things. Music. You want to push yourself, but you want to do it in a way that is, it's not extreme. It's not just completely uncontrolled chaos. This is a card of prudence and patience. It's saying that we're going to have to repeat this again and again to make sure that we continue growing in the right way. Yeah. We want our win. This is a really big win for you. You've got to say yes to this and you've got to do it because it's going to be great. You want to also be able to do it again. This is a repeatability. Okay, so when this takes place, what happens with the 6 of Wands? Well, we learn something. We get more insight into ourselves. I know what works. I know what didn't work. I think I did well this time. I got the big win. Maybe I can do better next time. How do I improve? How do I take what worked here and build upon it? Doesn't mean do more of the same thing. It doesn't mean, well, if one thing worked, that means you got to double down on it. Not necessarily. Repeatability and sustainability is what you're going after. One big win is good. It's fun. Feels nice. Maybe it sets you up for life, right? You want to have that big win again and again and again. This is about the long term for you. Okay, now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about that because we have a 9 of Pentacles. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of gain. It's the visible signs of progress. It's us being able to look at our life and saying, yeah, okay, I did better today than I did yesterday. Maybe just incremental change, maybe just a little tiny bit better. I shaved like 1/10 of a second off of my race time. That's pretty good. This is the idea that the gains in one area of your life correspond to gains in other areas of your life. If this is something financial gain is going to lead to a mental emotional gain and a spiritual creative gain. Some kind of creative work, creative progress is going to lead to physical and financial progress. Everything is connected. 3, 3, 3. Something that works on one plane of being is going to have a corresponding benefit on the other planes of being. And of course, they all meet in the middle, right? The mental emotional plane in the middle there. And that's how things are transmitted from the spiritual realm to the earthly realms through our heart and mind, like that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. And so when that system is functioning properly, we see benefits everywhere. We see abundance, we see progress, we see gains, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, and of course, in this physical manifested world. I think you're doing something that is a physical manifestation of a spiritual will, a spiritual impulse, an inspiration, or an idea. Okay? Now you have some kind of, you have something sewn into your clothes. What is that? I don't know if it's a note, if it's a spell, a picture, or if it may be a crystal. I feel like there's something that's like sewn into your shirt or a jacket or a robe or something. Yeah? I don't know what that is. Anyway, the next card that we see is the universe. And this represents a couple things because this is in the position of your environment and your relationships. First of all is the acknowledgement that there will always be somebody greater than you. There will always be somebody bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, knows how to drive the car better than you, right? So that's just kind of it. It's like this is an infinite continuum of progress, of skill, and so as the card of the relationships, it's kind of like I don't need to compare myself to everybody because, well, at least not in an unhealthy way. In an unhealthy way, I'm discouraged because I'm not as good as the person next to me. Or it kind of makes me send some bad vibes their way because I want to win, you know? But once we recognize that, it doesn't matter how many people I defeat, there's always going to be somebody that's better than me. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing. There's always somebody that kind of has something that you want that's grown a little bit more, that can do it better. Sometimes that can motivate us. Because if we can look at other people and we can think, gosh, if these other people are doing it, if they can drive the car that fast around the track and get it done, 2 minutes or whatever for a lap, maybe I can do it too. So it's okay to look at other people and be inspired. We have to understand what's happening in us when we look at other people. If we look at other people, we get mad and we want to sabotage them, or we start getting angry at ourselves or frustrated. That's not productive. But we can look at people and say, wow, like there's no limit to how good I can get. This card is the removal of limitations and boundaries. So there's no limit to how good you can get at this, and there's no limit to the rewards that you can reap. It's all up to you. You can take this one win and say, that's it, I'm walking away. Or you can try to make it a long-term, repeatable effort. And then it can go on indefinitely. This is also the card of legacies. This is the card that's saying maybe you're leaving your mark on the world in ways that you never realized. That generative drive. I want to generate something. What are you generating but a universe? I think you're leaving your mark on the world in some fashion, whether you're leaving an empire for your kids or grandkids, or you're leaving some artistic creations, in the world. You're here for a reason, and there will still be your signature will still be here even after you're gone. The universe is benefiting from you being here. Even after our ego consciousness has dissipated back into the spiritual realm, the universe itself is better off for you having been here. Through your efforts, you're raising the collective consciousness, you're raising the vibrations. Okay? Your participation in the world is absolutely necessary, even if you don't do anything like kind of publicly, like world renowned, you don't get famous for anything. It's not about that. It's about you fulfilling your nature to the best of your ability, which is the universe fulfilling its nature. So we're in service to the universe as a whole unit. We are like one little cell in the body of the universe. And just like cells in our body, Our cells are dying constantly. Trillions of cells are always, dying and being reborn. But each one serves its function. And when its time is up, poof, it's gone. But it still was a very vital part of the whole energy system. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fulfill our function to the best of our ability until our service here is done and we move on to whatever is next. Okay. Now, and that sort of speaks with our universe. We are a star in the company of stars. You are one star in the body of the universe, and your existence here is crucial. And when your time is up, your time is up. And that's just, we are a cell, in the body of the universe. The Five of Wands is here in the position of the obstacle. And really, this is what we're trying to learn. When to push, when to pull back, when to run, when to rest. How hard to push on the gas, when to be more competitive, when to be less competitive, how to use our power, how to use our energy, how to harness our excitement and enthusiasm and our passion, and how to be strong without always needing to show it. And this is kind of, this is the day-to-day. We've got to make these choices all the time. When is it time to fight? When is it time to just kind of let go and let somebody else, take a win? How to be competitive without being, without being arrogant, I guess, right? Because you got that Leo. You have a lot of Leo cards. I'd watch the Leo reading too if I were you. And Capricorn, yeah. This is the card of fighting. Healthy fighting is good, but when it starts to really break down, it's kind of like a, baseball game. I used to love watching baseball when I was a kid. Go San Francisco Giants. The two teams are competing against each other. Both sides are trying to win. Both sides are going to do whatever they have to do to win, right? And that's the game. Sometimes that healthy competition breaks down, and then you would see both teams rush the field and they're throwing punches, and it turns into a brawl. And it happens sometimes in baseball. I don't know so much anymore, but I remember it used to happen more back in the day. I used to love that as a kid. It was so exciting when both teams would rush to the field and they'd be throwing punches and stuff. And it sounds awful now. But that's when the healthy competition breaks down to real frustration and anger and animosity and comes to that kind of a real fight. This is not supposed to be that kind of a fight. Okay? So we're kind of learning how to take it to that edge, but not let it devolve into that kind of chaos. Okay? What you're doing is following your destiny. I have to have a sip of my matcha here. Cold matcha, delicious. The star is the insight into your own nature. So through this process, you're learning a lot about you. The star shines a light into us. And that light is the light of perception. It's interoception. We're learning what's going on inside of us. So we're learning where our knots of karma are, where our blockages are, our weak spots, our sore spots, our triggers and buttons, so that we can work on those. We can untie some of those knots, because the more we do that, the more our light will start to shine out into the world, and the more clearly we will see our yellow brick road that leads to our best life, leads to our fulfillment of our destiny, okay? And so that's the nature of the star energy, that insight that we have into our own process and our own behavior and our own way of doing things. And so the destiny here, the kind of end result of all of this, is that you're learning something about yourself that you can then reapply to this work, and you can continue to swirl this energy around and continue to grow and grow and grow and make progress. It's repeatability. And at the end of the race, you're going to look back at what you did and say, okay, I can maybe, I realize what some of my stumbling blocks are. I realize where I might need to put in a little extra work. I realize where maybe I was pushing too hard or not pushing enough, that sort of thing. But this is also the card of us fulfilling our nature as spiritual beings, as a star in the company of stars. We are one cellular unit in the body of the universe, and we're trying to fulfill our function. We're trying to let the light come in from the top and then be transmitted out, into the horizontal world. It's coming down from above vertically, and it's being transmitted horizontally out into the world. That's our function. And we're trying to be a clear conduit, a clear channel for that divine light. I don't know too much about cellular biology, but each cell has a function. Okay? And each cell needs to be internally, inside the cell walls, needs to be functioning properly so it can fulfill its duty, whatever its DNA is telling it its job is, right? So it's similar to this energy. And if there's something wrong, if there's something that's not functioning properly inside that is preventing us from really doing our job, we can work on that. We can fix that. We can rearrange things a little bit so that we can then function the way we're supposed to. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, creatively. Okay, financially. So I like this. Let's look at the mystery card. Yeah. I want the big win. I want, maybe Wheel of Fortune. I think that would be good. It might be some of that water energy that we didn't have. It may be a 6 of Cups. It may be an Ace. Maybe an Ace of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles, we're learning from all the challenges. Every time we go through this kind of struggle or this kind of fight or this battle or this competition, we're learning something. Okay? This shows the ups and downs and the twists and turns of life. This is the training ground. This is where we develop ourselves. This is where we learn what we're doing and how well we're doing it. See, as life sort of fluctuates up and down and up and down and the twists and turns, that shows me, how do I handle stress? How do I handle the ups and downs of life? Do I get mad? Do I start getting bitter and resentful and angry and fighting with people? Or do I try to remember, like, we're all a team, we're in this together, and how do we function as a whole unit? How do we reestablish the harmony? Okay. The ups and downs and the twists and turns of life are the training ground, the laboratory where we experiment with different things, where we learn about ourselves, where we experience it's where we perform our functions. It's also the mirror that shows us, like, wow, okay, I don't really handle stress very well, or hey, yeah, I did really well at that. What can I do to make it better? How can I continue doing things this well? And how can I keep it going? The ups and downs and twists and turns of life show us who we are. It's the physical world, the things that happen, the changes that happen in the physical world is basically the mirror that we're looking into. I like this. I also think this is changing your life. Whatever you're doing right now is really this is gonna be good. You gotta say yes to this. Okay. Now we're gonna do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini, Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.